Brandon, it's not necessary to find a cause of the trauma that still remains buried in the body. But it is necessary to bring the light of awareness to that buried trauma, or more accurately, to bring that buried trauma up into the light of awareness. Because it is in the light of awareness that it is first exposed and then dissolved. And it is when it is hidden from the light of awareness that it remains stored in the body and dictates our emotional life from below the threshold of our conscious minds. So it is necessary. Well, it's also true that this trauma can be dissolved without the mind necessarily being party to the experience. That also happens. But if there is some residual trauma in you, buried in the body, then don't go looking for its cause. That's not going to help. It's not going to help much. Let's put it like that. Finding its cause may take care of the story that is attached to the trauma, and that may be legitimate. But much more important is to go to the feeling in the body and to bring that to the light of awareness, because the trauma is the larger part of this trauma is stored in the body. It's a visceral memory, so to speak. And as you know, that my yoga meditations are the meditations whose purpose, or at least one of the purposes of which, is to first explore, expose, and in time dissolve these tensions and knots in the body. Much more important to do that than to look back in time for the cause of the trauma.
I realized as you were sharing that this very subtle belief or tendency of wanting to find a cause in a past to make it not personal to this person now, yes. Okay. To give myself permission to accept it. And I see some version still of self-preservation.
Brandon, that is that would be a valid reason for looking back and finding a cause in the past, to realize that the trauma was laid down probably early on in life, through no fault of your own, and indeed through no fault of the people who were the apparent cause of your trauma, because they in turn were acting out of their trauma, and if they had traced their own trauma back, and so on. So you're right. Tracing back the story is a good way of impersonalizing the event that led to this trauma. And that is valid. It's not enough, as I know you understand, simply to recognize that the trauma in you is impersonal, because it still remains lodged in the body and has a deep effect on your emotional life. But yes, that would be a perfectly reasonable and valid reason for exploring the story, as long as the exploration of the story is accompanied by this exploration of the body. Yes, do both. Explore the trauma on both fronts. The story in your mind and the sensation in your body.